Okay, Lisa, well, you had braces in the past. What happened? Or I loved your gap. Why did you have to close your gap? What is up, Liddy Gang, and welcome to another video. So if you guys haven't been tuned in to my dental journey, you guys might want to go ahead and watch the first part. There's gonna be a lot of things that I'm going to be explaining, and you guys might be a little confused if you guys haven't watched the first and the second video of my dental journey. But I will get into a brief description or a brief summary of what has been going on. And I'm also going to give you guys like a timeline of what my smile used to look like. So if you guys haven't watched, then you guys won't know the reason why I closed my gap. Okay, Lisa, well, you had braces in the past. What happened? Or I loved your gap. Why did you have to close your gap? Or you might even question like, why did you have to go through all that bullshit just to get this particular smile? So that is the reason why, if you watch part 1 and 2, you'll understand fully, because I give a very, very descriptive reason to why, and I give you guys a mini storytelling as well, and I also bring you guys on my journey. So in this particular video, you guys see my new smile. I'm gonna give you guys a rundown of how I feel about it. But I do want to start with saying this has been a very, very long overdue video. I know. Literally the last time that I recorded a video of me, even in the dental office, was in December. So I just got done with my final look. If you guys want to see what the final looks like, keep on watching. I think it took me so long because besides me getting wrapped up and, you know, just me coming back from my vacation in Greece and just life hitting all at once, I did, like, that day when I did get it done, it was just a lot for me to process. It was kind of like, whoa, like, your gap is gone. Like, not just that, but just the experience in itself. I feel like anywhere you go and you want to get dental work done, the experience is super, super important. The people, the customer service, the comfortability, all that plays a part in your journey, okay? And that's one thing that I will say. If you guys listen to my first part and my second part, my experience with getting my teeth done has been the worst to me. One of the craziest, the worst. Like, I felt like I've spent and invested a lot of money into nothing. Well, I can't say nothing because it worked for a while, but then it didn't. I feel like my experience has been up and down and round. And I feel like going into the final look, the final moment to actually give me the smile that I have now, I feel like they kind of ripped my experience out of my hands. So I will definitely get into the timeline of everything. I will show you guys what my smile looked like before braces, for the retainers. I'm going to show you guys what my smile really looked like for you guys to actually understand the insecurity, okay? The freaking pure insecurity and just not loving my smile and always feeling like I had to cover my smile. I'm living a little bit more free now. I'm able to smile and not feel any kind of way of how it looks on either side. But the experience, y'all, is everything. So the last time you guys see me was actually in December. And if you guys watched part 1 and part 2, you guys knew that I was super nervous, and I had to kind of, in a sense, gain trust from the doctor that was working on my smile. He created a treatment plan. He kind of slowed down the treatment plan for me and kind of made me understand, like, okay, let's take things bit by bit, step by step for your comfortability. Okay, boom. I was getting used to him. I was getting used to coming in, seeing him, things like that. Now, one thing I will say, and this is the reason why I will not shout out where I got my teeth done, is because I felt like it was very unprofessional the way that it was a different person that was working on the assistance to the doctor for my smile. And I don't know if that's like a common thing in these dental offices, but from day one, when I first stepped in, it was always a different dental assistant. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, y'all. So let's keep that in mind. I want you guys to follow with me on the reason why I say this. But this was supposed to be a moment where they were gonna see how my gums were healing, because you guys know they had to cut my they did like a root canal. They had to take out my tooth. Right now, at the moment, I'm rocking just a temporary, and this is what the temporary looks like, okay, for the time being, up until my gums heal. So, okay, came in for the appointment. As soon as I came in, a different assistant. He was a little bit more harder to understand because he was Spanish descent, and he kind of had a very thick accent. And I felt like even just with his energy, was just, it didn't rub me the wrong way, but he was kind of like, you could tell like he didn't really know what was going on. Like, it just was like certain things. As soon as I came in, I was like, ugh, okay, like we're starting from square one again, clearly. But at this point, you know, after he does like the little things here and there, you know, of course, the doctor comes. Now, one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I think that kind of made me super uncomfortable, and was one of the things that I feel like robbed me of my experience, was when I got my tooth taken out and my teeth shaved down. The first dental assistant that was with me, the lady that you guys seen in the video, when she was like rubbing me and just comforting me and just pouring gentleness and making me feel even more calm in that moment, in that particular video, I was trying to record what my teeth looked like, you know. And even in that moment, she told me, no, don't do that right now, girl, because that's gonna ruin how you view your smile. Don't do that. You don't want to look at yourself right now. And that made me feel so low when this man literally gave me no option but to look at my smile. He needed to actually get like what is like the end color that you would like your smile to be. And we were just trying to, you know, compare my natural teeth from what the crowns were going to look like. This is what he does to make me feel uncomfortable. He gets up, he goes outside, and he tells me to follow him outside. And outside he has the mirror and he has the palette. And I'm trying everything in my power not to look at my smile, because I'm like, no. So I'm like taking the mirror and I'm like trying to do it like the bottom of my teeth, or, you know, things like that. And he was like, you have to look. And I said, I don't want to look. Like, I don't want to look at myself in this condition. I don't want to look at myself this way. But he was like, you're gonna have to look. This is the most important part, and like, you can't go back. Like, once the crowns are a certain color, you can't brush your teeth to make the crowns whiter. Like, you can't go and get your teeth whitened. Like, the crowns are gonna be that color forever. I seen myself and I just was like, felt like, wow, like, what the fuck? I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, why did he make me do that? Because I just remember my first encounter was like, don't even look. After he did that, very uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, my palms was damn sweaty at that point, because it's like, ew, I look like that. You get what I'm saying? My tooth gone, my teeth shaved down. And at that moment, the doctor walks in, and it's not even my doctor, okay? It's a totally different person. It's this woman, the Spanish woman. She's very nice. I'm not going to lie. She was a very nice, sweet lady. She came in, started to ask me like multiple things, and I'm like, okay, maybe the doctor's not in today. You know, maybe this is a different doctor that's working for him. You know, my appointment was kind of late. You get what I'm saying? Throughout the day, I think it was at like 4:30. So, okay, maybe the shift switch, or like maybe he's not here today. All right. And the way that I found out that the doctor didn't work there anymore was because she was asking me a lot of questions that I felt like, okay, if this is like my last appointment, I feel like by now that you guys should already know what's been going on with me. I've been in here 5-6 different times already. This was supposed to be like the last impression, the last moment before like the big day where this is permanent, this is final. You guys are asking me questions that y'all should have been asking me like day 2, day 3. So then that's another reason why I felt like, okay, you guys robbed me of my experience again, because you guys are not making me comfortable. You guys are not making me feel like you know what's going on or what's been going on. The moment that I found out the doctor's not there, I just had to ask. I was like, you know what? No. Let me just talk to the doctor. Like, can I speak to him? I want to just run a couple of things down with the doctor. And then that's when she basically was like, he's no longer here. He no longer works for us. I was like, what? You know what? I think my heart dropped at that moment. And the reason why my heart dropped and where I felt like, okay, this is too much. Like, it's too much going on today. It's too much heavy, and for like too much things are going on, and it's very heavy on me right now, because it's like, this is a big thing for me. The moment I walked into that office, the doctor knew that, okay, she might be uncomfortable. And that's the reason why he slowed down the treatment plan. Then to come to find out that the guy that I started to trust, and the person that I started to become comfortable with something so big like this. This is me closing my gap, like my childhood mark. And not just that, but you guys are like shaving down, taking out teeth and things like that. So to know that the person that created that treatment plan was no longer there, and I was not aware of that, made me even more uncomfortable. She was like saying like certain things also that wasn't like on my treatment plan. And I was just like, okay, we're gonna talk. I think my mouth was swollen, and that's the reason why I didn't talk to her the day of. She was like, don't worry about it. We'll talk. You could call me, whatever the case is, this, that, and the third. So I think I ended up calling her because there was something that was on my treatment plan that I was like, okay, this is not it. This is not what I paid for, or this is not what I'm going to be paying for if this is not what you guys are doing. Made it aware of my concerns per usual. And the day for the final look comes. Okay. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was shitting bricks, of course, when they call me. It's a different dental assistant. And I'm not gonna lie, this guy, he was super, super sweet, very gentle. He was definitely more gentle than the guy before. I was like asking him questions here and there, but as he was doing that, he also mentioned a couple of things that wasn't on the treatment plan. And I was like, well, that's not what we discussed. And he was like, well, I'm not too sure what you guys discussed, but it does seem like this is probably the best option. He was like, well, let me go grab, the doctor, and then you could discuss your concerns with her. And she came in, and it just felt like everything that I was concerned about, it was just kind of like, yeah, but this is the case. This is what's happening. This is the final look. It made my heart sink because I felt like I came this far, and I was afraid to do something this dramatic and this big to my smile. And I felt like this is the reason why it took me so long to try to find different other alternative ways to keep that gap, despite the fact that all these doctors are telling me like, hey, you're going to lose your tooth at some point. But all the things that I went through, I was trying to avoid this moment here. This final moment where now everybody is confused. Another thing was my gums. My gums weren't 100% healed, and we're applying the final look onto those unhealed gums. And then she mentioned, well, the doctor should have did this, did that. I'm I'm a very direct, like, you gotta be direct with me and you gotta tell me every little detail about what's going on. I'm sitting here with the question mark on top of my head, and this is the final look. So they give me the mirror and I'm kind of like trying on everything, and I'm like, I'm seeing what everything's gonna look like. And to be honest, I kind of was like, I don't like that. Why does that look like that? And honestly, I think for me at that moment, it was kind of, I should have told myself to trust the process. But at this moment, me being an overthinker, I was just overthinking everything. Fast forward, she does everything within like 10 to 15 minutes. She does what she has to do. She fixed the bite. She does this, she does that. And then she passes me the mirror. And as she's doing it, the guy that was her assistant at the time was saying, wow, like, her smile is beautiful. Like, he was giving me actually heavy compliments and just saying like he loves crowns. She gets done, she passes me the mirror. Honestly, scared to look. I kind of was about to be like, let me just go look on my own. And I look and I'm like, okay. Now my initial reaction, to me, I feel like when people get their smile fixed, you know, you see these videos where people are crying, where people are ecstatic, where people are, you know, happy as hell. And I feel like I probably could have been that, but I feel like the whole experience and the way how nervous and anxious it made me feel, I felt like that kind of ripped away how I should have probably reacted initially. So leaving, everybody was like, oh, I want to see your smile. And I kind of was like, I kind of declined everybody. I kind of had to, I felt like at that moment I had to sit and understand what just happened. Like, this is finally over. And this is my smile for now on. And this is it. I'm not going to lie. I had to drive home in silence. I got home and I literally had to sit and look at myself and look at the way that I was speaking and the way that I was talking. And I literally just had to look. Like, I'm like, like, is this me? Like, is this me? And whatever it was that I was feeling at that time, it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of unanswered questions still. It was just a lot that was kind of, I felt like was weighing on me at that moment. And just what happened to my doctor, y'all? What happened to him? It's like somebody teaching you how to ride a bike, and then as soon as they let go, you turn back and they're gone. And it's like, where the hell did you go? Like, you helped me ride a bike. Like, I trusted you enough to get on that bike, and you helped me get on that bike, and now I know how to ride it, and now I turn around and you gone. And so I think that's how I felt. It was just very overwhelming, and just too many people in my business. It's a different assistant every single time I come in. Now apparently it's a different doctor every single time I come in. It wasn't like a stable feeling or a stable comfort. I don't want everybody seeing my teeth shaved down and my tooth gone. I don't want everybody seeing that side of me. And it didn't really sit well with me, knowing that maybe those changes were happening internally and you guys didn't feel the need to make me aware. It wasn't an instant comfort. It just, everything was just sporadic. Everything was out of place, unorganized. I didn't like that for me. I didn't like that for me in my situation. But I will say that I did have to sit in it, and I love my smile. I love the way that I look. And I thought initially I would be scared or feel a kind of way that my gap was gone. But even looking at videos, I'd be like, oh, my gap is gone. But it's not like I'm sitting in that feeling and saying, oh, damn, I should have not did this. I want to keep my gap. I'm not, at least with the gap anymore. I did love my gap, but I feel like, you know, when you're entering a different part of your life, there's some things that you got to get rid of. And you thank God for it, you know, and I thank God that I was able to, you know, have a gap. I loved my gap when I had it, but the teeth had to get fixed, okay? And that's why we got it fixed. That is my nightmare story. Other than that, this is my smile. They fixed my overbite, so it doesn't even look like I used to suck my thumb. It literally is the same color as my other teeth, which I will say they did a really good job with that. At some point, I was even like, can I get like my temporary impressions back? Because I was so used to wearing these that when she was doing the final look, I was like, I don't even like the ones that you guys created in the lab. I want the ones that my doctor created. But I'm going to show you guys clips of what my teeth used to look like before I got braces. But I think when I started to pay more attention to my looks, I was like, okay, like there are girls that are pretty with pretty smiles. Why don't I have a pretty smile? I had an overbite, I had a gap, and then also that teeth was also protruding a lot more than the other teeth. So it was definitely not a cute sight. That's what that looked like. And I'm also going to show you guys, I had to get multiple impressions, but these impressions were just for like my braces. I'm also going to put videos of like me with my braces, and then I'm also going to put videos like with my braces off or in the retainers. But you guys could see definitely a huge difference in my smile from the small amount of time that I wore braces and then after I took them off. But you guys could see in some videos, maybe my gap was even getting bigger. Not wearing those retainers, and like I was telling you guys before, retainers are so like a pain in the ass because you lose them and then you gotta wait like 2 weeks for you to get the replacement ones, or you could probably even go a month over. I used to always immediately, when I lost my retainers, I immediately went to the orthodontist and I said, yo, I need another one. I felt like even at some point, they was like, bro, it's the same girl again. Like, I have lifetime warranty on retainers at this moment, y'all. That's how many times I was losing my retainers. It was absolutely insane. So freaking crazy. Way too much. A pain in the ass, okay? But these were my impressions, and I honestly didn't even realize, like, instead of me going to get like my teeth scanned and things, I could have just dropped off my retainers, you know, a lot of the times. But I'm going to show you guys what my teeth look like when they took my braces off. You see that? You see that? Look how big my gap is. But also, if you look on the side, my tooth protruded like that. This is the tooth that they had to take out. But as you could see, like even like the my gum receded, and as you guys could see, it was protruding, and it was a lot worse, but it protruded. So this is what my teeth look like, okay, after I took off the braces. It was a lot worse before I even had the braces on. So imagine that. Look at that. But I'm also going to show you guys the retainers that I wore, because when they created my retainers, they literally had to put an indentation where that loose tooth was. Because, you know, like a retainer, it clasps all the way to your gums. They literally had to cut like an indentation in the gums to where I could just slowly but surely take it off. This was the loose tooth right here, and as you guys could see, the retainer where they cut the retainer is so much lower than this tooth. But that's how all my retainers had to look. They always had to cut an indentation in my retainers just so that when I pull it out, it'll be safe to pull it out to where they're not pulling out my tooth. I wanted to be 1000% transparent with you guys on what that smile looked like, because I know there's a lot of people that are kind of going through similar things, and maybe you're like even wondering, okay, should I go through with this? I'm scared to go through with it. Maybe you don't even have the money to do it. And honestly, I think that was like one of my biggest issues, is I don't have the money to go and get a new full set of teeth. So when people were telling me, like, it seemed like nobody really wanted to deal with my case, it was very, very discouraging. Okay. So that is why I say when I met my doctor that created that treatment plan, I kind of felt attached to him because he made me feel comfortable. And I honestly felt like, okay, he knows what he's doing. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anybody. You know, this dental journey has been one of the hardest. Maybe if I had a lot more, you know, a little bit more cash, it would have been easier. It's people that fly out and get their teeth done all the time. I wish that was my case, but it wasn't. And I wish that my experience was a lot more on the happier side, but it is what it is. We're here now. I love my smile. People see my smile and they're like, wow, I love your gap, but your teeth look amazing. And it's so good to hear. And I'm happy that I made that decision to do what it is that I had to do. I have been taking care of my teeth, brushing them, flossing them. There is a different way to floss them. You know, this is my life now. No more gap. If you guys see my other videos with my gap, just, you know, it's sad to see. You know, it's very sad to see, but this is where we're at. You know, and this is Leets now. This is Leets' smile now, and that's what it is. This has been a very transparent 3-part dental journey, but it's because I wanted you guys to know the reason why. Because I felt like people be like, well, why did you close it? I didn't really want to close it. I had to do what I had to do, and I feel better about what it is that I had to do, and I feel better about my decision. The only thing that I've wished for in my life, besides getting rid of this back fat, okay, is a beautiful smile. Okay, I don't care to fix anything else on my body, anything else about me besides my smile. And that has been very, very much of a long overdue accomplishment. And now that it has happened, I do feel a lot more secure. I do feel a lot more confident. I do feel a lot more beautiful. I'm not having to hide my smile when I laugh. I'm not having to, you know, angle myself a certain kind of way so you don't see like my big spaces in my teeth. I feel alive. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this is the first video that you guys watch out of my dental journey, go and watch the first part and the second part. I'm telling you, it's just very heartfelt, very transparent. And I know people got to be going through the same thing as me. The anxiety, okay? The nervousness, the anxiousness, even like the empty feeling, like you don't know how to feel. You don't know how to feel, when to feel it. I'm not gonna lie, that's how I felt a lot of the times throughout this journey. Like even from my first appointment, it was kind of like, whoa, like we're really doing this. We're really doing this. But thank you guys for letting me share with you guys. It has been a long journey since I was young, and this is the first time I feel more alive and more confident with my smile, which is so sick to say because it's like, ew, what? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.